So to continue what we were discussing in the first video, let's look at what political parties actually do. And you can look at political parties from two perspectives. The first one is the historical perspective. Historically speaking, as long as we've had democracies and elections, political parties have been a naturally occurring thing. And it's just a way for political and economic elites to gather based on having similar ideas and viewpoints. It's a way to help them, and historically it has been something for the elite, whether it's the economic elite, the academic elite, um, for a way for them to get ahead. And you could actually make your career based on the networking and the connections you make within a political party. Political parties have been something that have allowed for different coalitions to form, particularly before there was mass communication. Political parties would form at the local level and then join as kind of regional coalitions. Of course, the book talks about the first political party system to develop in the United States, the Federalists versus the Democratic Republicans, and of course, if you're a musical fan, Hamilton has that conflict between Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson. This is what that it's sent, if you will, centered around, if I can find the right word. Federalists versus Democratic Republicans. Federalists being more bankers, more merchants, Democratic Republicans being more people in the agricultural business. And then the Federalists actually died out and they lost prominence at the national level. They still existed, but they had a lot of difficulty winning. And so we entered into this period of Democratic Republican dominance for about 20 years until the Democratic Republicans split and became the Democrats versus what we call the National Republicans, more commonly known as the Whig Party. And then after that, the anti-slavery Democrats joined with some of the Whigs and formed what we now call the Republican Party. So we've had these different times in our history with two major parties. There have been third parties that have popped up from time to time, but the two-party system has been what's lasted the longest. Another way of looking at what political parties do is by looking at it from a functional perspective. And from a functional perspective, what we want to realize are three acronyms: PIG, PI, and PO. And so let's look at these as a way to understand how parties operate. The first one in the functional perspective is the pie, as evidenced by this beautiful pie, and I stole this picture from Canva, but the pie looks gorgeous. I'm going to claim and say that I actually baked it, even though we all know I didn't. PI stands for Party in Electorate. Party in Electorate refers to actually you, the voter, you, the person that when you register. In some states you have to register. When you register to vote, you have to pick a party. In Texas, you do not have to pick a party until you show up to the primaries. But when you vote, when you say you're a Republican or when you say you're a Democrat, when you put that I'm supporting Trump or I'm supporting Biden banner on your Facebook page, your social media page, that's you being party and electorate. What we want from you is very simple. Political parties want your engagement. We want you to vote. We want you to donate to our candidates. We want you to volunteer on the campaigns. We want you to write that social media post or share that news article that makes the political party look good. And political parties spend millions of dollars trying to engage with you, the public, so that when it comes election season, you will actually go out and vote. So that is party and electorate. You are the electorate. Another thing political parties do is PO, which stands for Party Organization. And if you're wondering, that is a po' boy sandwich from New Orleans. And I don't remember where I got that picture from, but every time I go to New Orleans, I get a po' boy sandwich, and I think of party organization. Party organization is basically the behind the scenes work. Party organization is the meetings that you may go to at the local or state or national level. It's picking precinct chairs. It's doing the logistics of creating a party convention. It's creating the rules for primary debates. Party organization is the behind the scenes work that really helps to shape the business of what a political party is. Every political party has a platform of ideas. The platform tells you, if you elect us, these are the things that we're going to advocate for. And the platform is developed by the party organization. So in the Democratic Party platform, you'll see things like probably some form of universal or expanded health care, some form of keeping corporations in check. You'll see some push towards climate change legislation. In the Republican Party platform, you'll see an affirmation of the Second Amendment, the importance of reaffirming our religious and moral center. You'll see a need and a push for more free trade or more things of that nature. So the party platforms are developed to let people know what the different positions are. Just as an example of what we mean by party organization, political parties don't just exist at the national level. Political parties exist at the state level and the local level. And I'm showing you this to show you that you can get involved in party politics without ever leaving your county. You can get involved without ever leaving your home. It doesn't have to be going to Washington, D.C. or going to the state capitol. There is room for you to get involved at every level of your political party. The last one, from a functional perspective, is what I call PIG, or Parties in Government, as represented by Ham, the Toy Story piggy bank, voiced by the wonderful John Ratzenberger. PIG stands for Party in Government. Now, this is the most important one. Party in Government refers to all those elected officials who were elected with pie based on the party platforms of Poe. PIG refers to taking those and making them laws, making policy. Party in government is the most important one because this goes back to that idea that political parties want to control government. They want to capture the White House, they want to capture the House and the Senate so that they can push through legislation and political nominees of people that are going to push that party message. And if you are not in, if you're the party that's out of power, if you're what's called the minority party, you still have a job to do under PIG. You have to do anything you can within legal reason to stop the majority party from winning, to stop the majority party from pushing through their legislation, whether that means providing organized opposition, whether it means creating alternative solutions and trying to get some of the more lesser members of the major parties to switch side. You still have a role to play in trying to stop the major party's agenda. So, how do we third or minor parties fit into this picture? Well, when we say third party, we're really referring to any party other than the two major parties that are able to win office, basically anything other than the major parties, whether that's the Libertarian Party or the Green Party. Third parties have always existed in this country, but they haven't always been that successful. In the next video, we're going to look at why third parties aren't able to be that successful? What's holding them back? And is there anything that these parties can do to actually be more successful?